Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer 55551, and I am back with a review slash thought video. For this one, I'm going to be taking a look at Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I just came back from watching it in the theaters though. I would have saw it last week though, but certain issue popped up, particularly my car getting its annual checkup and all that stuff. But I got a chance to see it this week though, and it's worth pointing out to parents out there, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is rated PG-13 here in the USA, and the running time for the movie is 2 hours and 30 minutes though. When it comes to the different Marvel movies, there are many different types out there though. There are some that have a somewhat of a more serious tone. Some of them maybe not as serious, but still have a little bit of a lighthearted tone to it and all that. Guardians of the Galaxy, I feel, kind of has sort of a mixture of part of it being somewhat being serious at some points, but being mostly a bit more of a humor to it, to a certain degree. And there have been basically three entries: Volume 1 and Volume 2. Volume 3 is interesting because when it was clear that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was going to happen, the movie got delayed though, or hit the pause on it, mostly because of the fallout over a controversial picture that director James Gunn got himself involved into, and that sort of put the movie on hiatus for a bit until we eventually was back on track and everything like that though. Well, now the movie is officially out, and I will say that after watching this movie, I would say that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is definitely good, and I think it might be the best one in the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy though. As far as what I'll break it down to is what I like. What I didn't like, mixed, I'm not 100% sure about. So as far as what I like though, it still maintains the tone that the first two have always had. There are certain moments where it can be funny at some points, and there are some parts where I did have a bit of a chuckle and laughed at, and then there are certainly parts that can be serious and have a bit of a heartwarming moment as well though. That certainly was what made the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy very interesting though, and this one still continues with that. I mean, director James Gunn did a really good job in terms of how he was able to tell the story with his own style and approach, and of course the choice of music that he added into for the Guardians of the Galaxy though. It has that sort of uniqueness, let's just say, that James Gunn is known for. So I have to give him credit for that in terms of how the story has its funny moments and somewhat serious and heartwarming moments though. As far as the cast though, I mean, all the cast I think did a really good job though. Chris Pratt does a great job as Peter Quill, Star-Lord though. David Bautista as Drax though. Bradley Cooper voicing Rocket though. Karen Gillan, if I'm saying her name correctly, as Nebula though. And so basically everyone's, and of course Vin Diesel voicing Groot and everything like that. So everyone really does a good job with their character. Even Michael Rooker, if I'm saying his name correctly, as Yondu, makes a brief appearance in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, even if it's just a short appearance though. But I think the one that I thought stand out the most was the High Evolutionary though, played by, I'm sorry if I'm not saying his name correctly though, Chukwudi. I apologize, I'm not saying his name correctly though. But still, I thought he was a really good villain for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So he was definitely I really enjoyed his character. And of course, I thought Adam Warlock, played by William Poulter, again, apologize for not saying the name correctly though, did a really good job playing his character though. And I'm very curious to see how Adam Warlock will play in, say, future MCU movies going down the road though. So I thought those two characters were good. I definitely enjoyed the High Evolutionary. I thought he was a good villain. Adam Warlock, nice introduction of him nevertheless though. And last but not least though, they definitely stuck to what they were advertising this movie to be, basically a story, a backstory on Rocket Raccoon and how he became who he is, where he came from, and all. And I thought they did a very good job with it though, showing what the High Evolutionary did to Rocket, though, in terms of who he became and everything like that, though. And you learn how he escaped from this place and so forth. So I thought it was definitely a Rocket Raccoon story, and I think it delivered on a lot of it, though. Even if Rocket Raccoon, basically voiced by Bradley Cooper, didn't have a lot, I wouldn't say, it certainly had speaking parts in it, but not on the same level as, say, the first and second Guardians of the Galaxy movie, though. But still, I definitely enjoyed the backstory of Rocket Raccoon, though. As far as what I didn't like or mixed or not 100% sure about, as much as I enjoyed the backstory of Rocket Raccoon and everything like that, I did feel that there were some parts that were kind of missing that would have been nice if they had actually put that into the movie and all that, such as like maybe how he met Groot, voiced by Vin Diesel, how those two became sort of friends or a partner together and all. So I feel like there were some parts that were of Rocket's backstory was kind of missing, though. Maybe this would be in like a Disney special or a DVD feature or Blu-ray feature, who knows, but I do think it's a little bit unfortunate they didn't show like that part, though. And finally, as much as I enjoyed the plot and the story of the Guardians of the Galaxy taking on, the High Evolutionary, though, there are some parts, small though, but some parts that I felt like, unless you watch the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, though, which I did watch, though, I thought maybe that one was fine, though. Unless you watch that, though, there might be some parts that might be confusing to like how is Mantis, related to Star-Lord, Peter Quill, though, to one of a actor whose name features up on a newspaper in one of the end credit scenes, though. So there are some parts that I will say, some, not all of it, but some of it, though, or at least maybe one or two parts, though, where unless you watch the Christmas special, you might be a little bit confused to a certain degree, though. Overall, I enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, though. Even if this is the last time we'll see James Gunn direct an MCU movie, since he's going to be taking charge of the DC movies, though, I thought it was still enjoyable nevertheless. At its best, though, it still maintains that style that James Gunn's known for, though, especially where at some points it could be funny, it could be heartwarming and serious, though. I did enjoy the villain, the High Evolutionary, though, and I thought Adam Warlock, like I mentioned, was good, though. And I like how this one kind of focused a bit more on Rocket Raccoon, and you learned a little bit more of his backstory, which certainly isn't a bad thing. But at its worst, or, not sure and everything like that, I do think there were some parts of his backstory, like him meeting Groot or anything like that, was missing. That's a little bit unfortunate, at least from my view, though. And although, again, like I mentioned, this might be a bit tiny, though, there are certain parts of the plot or of the story, though, that unless you saw the Christmas special on Disney Plus, you might be a little confused to a certain degree. It's kind of similar to how I thought with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, where unless you watched WandaVision on Disney Plus, some folks might be scratching their head wondering why is Scarlet Witch sort of the villain in that when she was an Avenger and everything like that. So that's kind of how I kind of came away with the story to a certain degree. Either way, though, it did not ruin my experience of this movie or anything like that. If this is the last time we'll see the original Guardians of the Galaxy, though, I thought it was a very good final send-off, though. Although after the end credit scene, they did mention that the legendary Star-Lord will return. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Star-Lord will return and everything like that. And I'm very curious to see if a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 4 happens, how this one's going to do, though. I mean, like I said, with James Gunn now working on a reboot of the DC Cinematic Universe, him being in charge, though, it's going to be very tough for any director to fill in the shoes, considering how well James Gunn did the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, though. And I'm very curious to see if a fourth one does happen, and I believe it will. I do believe they will do a fourth one. it's going to be interesting to see what direction they decide to go with a fourth Guardians of the Galaxy, though I am curious to see how Adam Warlock is going to fit into the MCU going forward and all. But either way, I enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's a good final send-off to the cast and characters you may remember that you loved through 1, 2, and now in 3, though, and I thought they did a really good job. So for me, I definitely recommend seeing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, though. Okay, this concludes my review/thoughts of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? Did you get a chance to see it in theaters and all? Did you enjoy the movie? Do you think it's the best entry into the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy that James Gunn did? Or do you think one or two are better, though? Did you like the High Evolutionary, though, if I'm saying the villain's name correctly? And what are your thoughts about Adam Warlock? Do you like how he was portrayed in the movie, though? Are you looking forward to seeing him maybe in future MCU movies and all? And do you think a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 4 could happen? And if so, do you think they could pull it off even though James Gunn is now going over to the DC to work on basically handling the DC cinematic universe over there? Do you agree with what I say in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I will appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to. And feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You can do it through PayPal me or Patreon. Links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. Oh, and also Steam Labs if you want to donate there too as well. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!